Hello.
Good evening.
Hey, Kingsley, how are you?
Doing well, doing well. How about yourself?
I'm excellent. Thank you for asking.
Good, good.
Okay, so let's get started. So we're going to talk about the internet. Chapter one is a general idea of what the internet is. Noel, you there? Mohammed, you there?
Yeah, I have, yeah, I'm here.
Good, good. Let's let's give Mohammed a few minutes.
He said good evening in the chat, so I'm pretty sure he's here.
He's in the chat. Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
here.
I
Can you
was
hear me?
good, good. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, good. So let's get started. So let's say we have um, let's say someone somewhere in Africa. Noel, like, what country you originally from? Because it's going to be our example today or tonight. Okay, let's talk about like Sudan as an example. In Sudan, the ISP, the internet company, is called Sudatel. That's the internet company, the ISP. Can you guys name any other ISPs in Africa?
Mm, I don't know. I want to say Teltech, but I don't know if that's one.
Uh, Teltech, you said?
Yeah,
I think Celtech or something. I think it's owned by a Sudanese guy. His name is Mo Ibrahim. It operates in many African countries, I think.
I got you.
I'm not 100% sure what the name is, but I think it's Celtel or something. But
Okay.
let's just speak of
MTN Group.
Sudan
Hmm.
one more time.
Say again?
So let's just stay with the example we have here, Sudatel. Sudatel is the ISP in Sudan, the internet service provider in Sudan. So if you have a home user, they'll connect to Sudatel. 1, 2, 3. These devices are called routers. So every company, every ISP, every internet service provider is made up of routers. So Sudatel will connect router 4, 5, 6. And this is another ISP. This is called Ittisalat. This is an ISP in Emirates, United Arab Emirates. And Ittisalat will connect to 7, 8, 9, and this is British telecommunications. And then 10, 11, 12. Here you have AT&T. So British telecommunications is in which country, guys?
Britain,
Britain. And AT&T is where?
US.
US. So we have an ocean in between, right?
Hmm.
Is it the Atlantic or the Pacific? Which one is it?
I believe Atlantic.
Okay, so since there's an ocean, we're going to have what they call a transatlantic cable. This is a cable that's going under the ocean, called the transatlantic cable. It's carrying all the internet traffic from Europe or from Britain to the US and vice versa. So then we'll have router 13, 14, 15. Let's say this is an ISP in California. Let's call it California Tel or Cali Tel. And here you'll have the Google server. Here you'll have the Google server. So the Google webpage, www.google.com, it lives right here. It's hosted here. So that's the internet. That's a simplified diagram of the internet. So the internet is a network of networks. We have Sudatel, we have Ittisalat, we have British Telecom, we have AT&T, we have Calitel. All these companies come together and they form the internet. So the internet is a network of networks. Network of networks, or a group of networks. Why do we say the internet is a network of networks? Because Sudatel is a network, Ittisalat is a network, British Telecom is a network, AT&T is a network, Calitel is a network, and there's hundreds of thousands of similar networks, ISPs, around the globe. And they all connect together, and that's what you call the internet. All good?
Yes. I just wanted to recap. Basically, when you started at Sudatel, that home, the house icon represents just your home base or the base of operations that you're.
Yeah, that's
And
a home, exactly.
okay.
Right. So
And now,
someone in that home, if they want internet service, since they're in Sudan, they connect to Sudatel, right?
mhm. And
So there's
so,
going to be,
no, I'm sorry, go ahead.
so someone in Sudan, if they want internet service, of course they're not going to go to AT&T, right?
Right.
Because that's another country. So they're going to go to Sudatel, and they say, hey, we want internet service, and then Sudatel is going to connect them via cable. So there's going to be a cable leaving the home and going into the Sudatel network. So in a minute, we're going to talk about how information flows over the internet.
Got you. So when you see numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, those are the routers.
Those are routers, because the internet is a network of networks, and every single network is consisting of routers. It is made of routers. Sudatel is made of routers 1, 2, 3. Ittisalat are the 4, 5, 6. British Telecom 7, 8, 9. So routers are the core components of the internet. It's what makes up the internet. And there's several companies that make routers, but Cisco has the biggest market share. So maybe 60 or 70% of the routers on the internet, doesn't matter which country, which ISP, 60 or 70% of the routers on the internet are most likely Cisco devices. And that's why the Cisco certification is valuable. Because if you have the certification, it means you know how to work on these Cisco routers, which means you can work at any internet company. Make sense?
Yeah. When you see the big circle around the numbers, is that just letting you know that's one ISP?
That's one ISP, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So router 1, 2, 3, that circle, that's the first ISP. Yep, Sudatel. And then 4, 5, 6 is the second ISP, and so on. So now let's talk about what happens when someone here on a laptop opens a browser. He types www.google.com. A message is created. It's called the get message. Get. G-E-T. So when someone opens a laptop and types google.com, a get message is created. And to be specific, it's get Google. If you open a browser, you type facebook.com, a get Facebook is created. If you open a browser and type yahoo.com, a get Yahoo message is created. So the message is a get message. And it has addresses. It has the destination address of Google. So the get message is sent to router 1. The router has the ability to read the address, to read the destination address. So router 1 is going to read the destination address of the get message. And we know the destination address of the message is where? Where do we want this get message to go?
You mean to the ISP?
So when you open a browser, you type google.com, what are you requesting? When you open a browser, you type google.com. What are you requesting? Like when you open a laptop, you go to a browser and you type www.google.com. What are you really looking for?
For the you want the source, I mean you want the information to be retrieved.
Right. You want the Google web page, right?
Yeah.
You want the Google web page. So you send a get message. So when you open a laptop, you type google.com, a get message is created. Get message is created, and it goes to router 1. Router 1 will read the message, and the address, the destination address of the message is the Google server, which is somewhere here. So router 1 will send it to router 2. Same thing. Router 2 will read the get message, and the get message has a destination, which is Google server. So router 2 will read the message, and it will find that the destination is the Google server. So where is router 2 going to send the message?
Router 3.
Router 3. And 3 is going to send it where? See, because this home user, again, what does he want? What is he looking for? When he opened the browser and he typed google.com, which website does he want?
He wants Google.
He wants Google. Google is here.
So he's got to go through all different ISPs.
Exactly. So the Google page is stored here. So this get message has to travel across all ISPs until it gets to the Google server. So the Google server can send the web page, right?
Yeah.
So router 3 will send the get message where?
To 4.
To 4. And 4 is going to send it to, see, now the message is leaving Sudatel. It's going to a totally different ISPs, but that's how all these ISPs work together to make up the internet. So 3 will send it to 4. So where is 4 going to send it?
To 5 and 6 and so on and so forth.
5, 6, exactly. Now it's leaving it to Salah, to British Telecom, 7 to 8 to 9. Same thing. 9 will read the get message. And the get message, so this is still the same get message. This is the same get message that was generated here. So 9 will read the get message. Does the get message have a destination address?
Can you say again?
Does the get message have a destination address? Like where is this get message supposed to go?
It's supposed to go
Where
get to.
One more time?
It's supposed to get to Google.
Exactly. So the destination address is the Google server here, right?
Mm.
So router 9 will read the destination address of the message and it will say Google. So 9 will send it to 10. And where is 10 going to send it?
11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
12. The one thing I want you to know is these routers don't just send the message. They have the ability to read the message. Just like when you receive a letter in the mail, it says from this address to this address, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you send the letter, you give it a source address and a destination address. So the postman can send it to the destination, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. This get message here, it has a source address. The source address is home, because it's generated here at the home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the destination address is where?
Google.com.
Yes, google.com. And google.com has a specific address, and we're going to get into these addresses in the next few days. So every get message has a destination address, which is google.com. So every router is not just randomly sending the message. Every router is reading the get message, reading the destination address, and then sending it in the direction of the Google server. All clear?
Yeah.
Clear.
Good. So 12 will send it to 13, to 14, to 15, to the Google server. So now a Google server receives a GET request, receives a GET Google message. So now the Google server knows that someone is requesting the web page. Now the Google server knows someone is requesting the web page. And the web page is already stored in the server. So the server will send the web page. So the server receives a GET and sends what?
A message.
A message or a web page.
Oh, once it reaches its destination address.
Remember, like the GET message made it all the way to the Google server, right?
Okay, so yeah, I made it to the destination address. Then it's going to show up as google.com.
So the GET message was delivered, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way until the Google server, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Google server is going to send what?
Maybe a notification or a message saying delivered.
So what was the GET requesting?
The get was
What did the home
google.com.
what did the home user really want when he sent that GET message?
To get to the destination, which is google.com. No?
Right. Does he just want to send the message and get it to the destination, or was he looking for something specific from Google?
The web page, the home page.
The web page. Yeah, the web page, right.
Mm-hmm.
So when the message is delivered to the Google server will respond with the web page.
Mm-hmm.
The Google server will respond to the web page, and the source of the web page is the Google server. And the destination of the web page, where do we want to send this web page? Like, where do we want this web page to go?
Back to the home address.
Exactly, the destination is home.
Mm-hmm.
So the web page leaves the server, goes to router 15. Router 15 will read the address. The destination is home. So where is router 15 going to send it?
Home.
So what would be the first step?
Oh, to send it back through the ISP. So you're going backwards through the routers. So you're going from router 15 to 14 to 13, back to 12, 11, 10.
So 15 is going to send it to 14, right?
Mm-hmm.
To 13. to 12 to 11 to 10, right?
Mhm.
Let's say we had router 16 and 17 here, and this is another company on the internet. And now the web page is here. Web page is at router 10. Is router 10 going to send it to 9 or is it going to send it to 16?
I mean, when it was first sending the message from the um, initial request, it didn't go through those routers. So why should it go back through them?
Let's think about it. We have a web page, right?
Yeah.
That originated at the Google server and it travels across a couple of routers. And where is the web page now? On which router?
12, 11. So it's in 11.
Let's say
It's
we're
in
at
10.
AT&T and we want to distinguish how we're going to get back to CCNA, Sudan on that side. Distinguish between 16, 17, and 9, 8, and 7.
So the question is, like we were all clear on how the GET message originated in Sudan and it traveled across the internet all the way to the Google server, right?
Right.
What did the Google server send in return?
It fulfilled the request, sending a message back to your home destination
Right.
address.
What is that message? What is it? Is it a file? Is it a
Web page.
letter? It's a web page, the Google web page, the well-known Google web page, right?
Yeah.
So the server is going to send it to 15, to 14, to 13, to 12, to 10, to 12, to 11, to 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now the web page is at 10, right?
Yeah.
10 has two routes. 10 can send it to 9 or can send it where?
To 16 and 17.
16, yeah. Either 9 or 16. So where is 10 going to send it?
I mean, from a logical standpoint, to me, it would go back to 9 because it never went through 16 and 17 to begin with.
You're right. It goes back to 9. And not because it never went to 15 and 16. It goes back to 9 because remember earlier we were saying these messages, they have a destination address, right?
Yeah.
So the router is able to read the address and send the message in the right direction. So this web page has a destination of what? What is the destination address?
Home address in Sudan.
Home. Home, exactly. So for that reason, router 10 will know to get to the home has to send it to 9. Right?
Yeah.
That's the whole idea of it. Routers are intelligent devices. They're able to read the destination address of the message, figure out where this message is going, and send it in the right direction.
Cross a live source, right?
Say that again, Noel.
The 10 being routed to 9, like Kingsley was saying, is going to its logical source to get back to home. But the
No, he's right.
question was, why was the 10 not routed to 16 instead of 9?
Oh, I see
Exactly.
what you're saying. Yeah. So basically, because it's reading, because we said that it sends messages, but also reads it, so it comprehends that it needs to go a certain direction, like a map, to get back to where it's going.
Yes. Yes. These routers
Yes.
have the
Thank you.
ability to read the address of the message. Just kind of like a GPS will know the destination and it will tell you turn left, turn right. These routers are able to read the destination of the message and send the message in the right direction.
Yeah, so it's sort of like a map.
Exactly.
True. That's why I use the term live
Exactly.
source. Right. 10 is going to 9 logically. It's going back to home.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys are getting it. So 10 will send it to 9, and then 9 will send it to 8, and then to 7, and then to 6, to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then to the home, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the web page will pop up on the laptop.
Mm.
On your laptop, at the home in Sudan, you will see the Google web page. The page, the white page, it has a search box, the Google logo, yellow, red, blue, green. You guys are all familiar with the web page, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all this happens in a fraction of a second. So when you open a laptop, you open a browser, you type google.com, in a fraction of a second you get the web page. But in the background, all this happens.
Mm.
Happens very quickly. So when you open a browser, you type google.com, what's the message that's created? What's the name of the message?
Google.com.
When you and you type google.com, what is the name of the message that's created?
Oh, you're talking about the get?
Yes, the get. So when you open a browser, you type google.com, a get message is created,
Mm-hmm.
and it is the home, first router, second router, third router, fourth router, all the way until it's delivered where? Final destination.
Mm-hmm.
Until it gets where? Where's the final destination?
Are you talking about your address?
So the home user in Sudan typed google.com,
Oh,
a get message was created in Sudan, right?
yeah. So your final destination is google.com webpage.
This message traveled across the internet until the final destination, which is the Google server, probably in California, right?
Gotcha.
So now the Google server will receive the get message. It will know someone in Sudan is requesting the web page.
Mm.
Make sense?
Yes.
Because this get message, it has a source and a destination. When we were talking about the get message earlier, we said it has a source home and a destination Google, right?
Mm.
So when the Google server receives the get message, it knows that someone in Sudan is requesting the web page.
Mm.
So the Google server will create the web page. It's already in the server. So the Google server will send the web page, and it will give it a destination address of who?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? I was taking notes.
The Google server will
Mhm.
send the web page, right?
Yeah.
And it's going to give it a destination address of what? Who is the destination?
Your home address.
Exactly. Exactly. Just like the example of a letter earlier, when you write a letter,
Yeah.
you give it a destination, right? Where you want it to go, right?
Yeah. So basically your
So the
return
get
address.
right. So the get message had the destination of Google, but the web page has a destination of home, right?
Yeah.
So it will go to either 15, 14, 13, all the way until it's delivered to the home, to the laptop. This is when you see the Google web page. So anytime, anywhere in the world, someone opens up a browser and types google.com, this exact same process happens. A get message is created at the laptop. It leaves the laptop to the ISP, and then it's sent from browser 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, all the way to the destination. And then the server will send the web page across all the routers back to the PC. All good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
But
now we know.
just to throw in a question for laughs and giggles. We'll go back to 10, right? So I got a message that's coming back from www.google.com. It's traveling from 15, hits 14, hits 13. I get out of I can't read that, but I'm going to AT&T. I hit 12, I hit 11, I hit 10, and now I have a problem where maybe 9 is down for whatever reason. It just went down temporarily. Now, how is it possible for the message to go from 10 around 9, 8, and 7 to 6?
That's a great question. That's a
Now,
great
can I
question
now
because
now can I start with 16, 17 and use the information you were talking about, how we're able to read and how we're able to detour and get information back to home?
you're 100% correct. Like this link could be down. So where is 10 going to send the message? There's going to be an alternate path because the internet is made of many, many networks. So, and this is something we're going to talk about in a future chapter, but then we could have like 18 here, 19 here, and 20. And let's say 20 is connected here. So even if 9 is down, we can send from 10 to 8 to 19 to 20 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1 to home, right?
Good.
Mhm.
Perfect. So that's how the internet works for home users. Let's see how the internet works for businesses. Let's talk of like, let's say Bank of America. Let's assume they have 5,000 branches in the US. They may have a branch here in California. This router connects to a switch, and then they'll have the PCs, the employees, PC1, PC2, PC3, PC4, and they may have hundreds of PCs in that branch, but that's the design. You have a bunch of PCs all connected to a device called a switch. And then the switch is connected to router number what? 21, right? You guys see the picture?
Yeah, sorry, can you backtrack and re-explain that portion? I was trying to take some notes. So you're talking about
You don't have
this is commercial slash business use, right?
to see like taking notes. To take notes, like it takes away from like your comprehension because you're focused on the notes. I would say just if you just listen, because the way I teach this class, I repeat things once,
Oh.
twice, 3 times. I'll probably be saying the same things again in future chapters. So you'll memorize it. You'll repeat it a lot. Repetition is like the basis of learning. So I tend to repeat things a lot until you memorize them. So most important thing is just kind of being able to be present and just understand. And I think you guys
Right. It sounds
understand
like,
it.
yeah. This is a Starbucks conversation, a little bit of coffee and, the table. I like it.
Okay. So what I was saying is we completed the first part where how home users communicate on the internet. A home user sending a request and then they got the web page, right?
Mhm.
But that's one aspect of the internet because not the whole internet is home users. We have businesses on the internet too, right?
Mhm.
We have businesses. So we're going to see how businesses communicate over the internet. Let's say Bank of America is an example. Bank of America may have an office here in California. They have an employee, another employee, a third employee. They could have hundreds of employees. All these employees connect to a device known as the switch. And then the switch connects to a router. Let's call it router 21. Because the highest number here was 20. So this is 21. And you guys all know what a router is, right?
Mhm.
Router 21 will connect to CaliTel. If this branch is in California, let's call this Bank of America, California. So to have access to the internet, to be connected to the internet, they're going to be connected to the internet service provider or the company that's closest to them in California. So they connect to CaliTel. We all clear?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Bank of America have another branch somewhere here. Call it router 22, connected to a switch, and then they have all the PCs, all the employees connected. That's another branch. This branch will connect to AT&T because this branch is closer. So let's call this Bank of America, let's say branch in Nevada. They connect to AT&T because they're closer to AT&T. Let's say we have a Bank of America branch, which is unlikely, but that's just an example. Let's say you have a Bank of America branch in Britain. Same thing. This is router 21, 22. They're going to be router 23, switch, and then a couple of PCs for the employees. And then 23 will connect to British Telecom. This is also Bank of America. So Bank of America will have many branches in many locations, and every branch will connect to the internet company closer to it. Are we all clear?
Mm-hmm.
So now, what if this employee here wants to communicate with this employee at another branch because they both work for the same bank? This employee will send a message to the switch to router 21, and then where is it going to go from 21?
What's the destination?
This employee right here, you see here,
Mm-hmm.
star. This employee would like to communicate to this employee. Remember we said Bank of America, California, and Bank of America, Nevada, right?
Yeah, but you're saying we're starting from California to get to Nevada, so they'll go through their switch, get in connected to the router, which will go through the ISP, CaliTel, and then it'll go to
Can you tell me the numbers?
Yeah,
of the
I'm at
router?
I'm at 1 going to the switch. I'm going to 21. I'm going to 13, and my next source is 12, and then
yeah,
from
exactly.
12 I want to jump over to that smaller number I can't read, but you get the idea. We want to just go to the next source, 13, my
22,
friend. Yeah,
20,
yeah,
22,
22. Yeah,
right?
22 is
Right.
BOA NV. If we want to read the
Exactly.
numbers, the protocol, yeah, just like that. We're going to 22.
Exactly. So that way, any employee at any Bank of America branch can communicate to another employee at the Bank of America branch, right?
Yeah.
And if an employee at Bank of America California would like to communicate with an employee at Bank of America UK, same process, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same dial-up. Yep.
And yeah, and this employee here at Bank of America California, yes, he can communicate with employees at other branches, but he can also browse. He can also access Google, because you may be in the office, in your office at Bank of America, but you want to browse Google, you want to buy something from Amazon, you want to go to any website. Not necessarily you want to communicate to another employee at another branch. Maybe you just want to browse Google. So this PC here can also access Google. Let's say this employee opens the browser, the same example of the home user in Sudan. Let's say this PC here, this employee, he's in his office, he's at the bank, he opens the browser and types google.com. A message is created. What's the name of the message?
Are you talking about the get?
Or exactly the get. So it leaves the PC. Where does it go?
To the switch.
Right. And then I want you to tell me the whole path.
Oh, okay, sure. I mean, you're establishing your get message to your switch following your router, and then your router is going to follow into the nearest ISP.
Can you tell me the numbers, the router numbers?
Oh, sorry. So, yeah, 21. And then again, we're connecting to Calitel ISP at um, router 13, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again,
Yeah.
we're trying to reach our other employee in a different region, so just following that same path as Noel mentioned earlier.
Yes, yeah.
So okay. So we're at Bank of America, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about this employee here,
Yeah.
right? Let's call him Noel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Noel, we spoke of an example where Noel was able to communicate with another employee at the Bank of America Nevada branch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys told me the path is 21, 13, 12, 22, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now Noel is not communicating with another branch. Now Noel wants the Google web page.
Sure.
So
So
he's going to open a browser, type google.com, a get message is created, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
A Google
tell me
message
the
says
path.
www.google.com. I'll be going from 1 to the switch, 21 to 13 to 14 to 15 until I get right there to that main router.
Till you
Right.
get to that Google web page. Yeah.
The Google server, right? It's called the server, yeah.
The
The
server,
server,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is the home. The server is the home of the web page. The web page is stored at the server.
Mm,
You guys get it?
yeah.
So the point here is the employee at Bank of America branch can communicate with other branches via the internet and can also request the Google web page. You guys get the idea?
Mm-hmm.
And just
Like you're
like
trying to message, we could imply that the shared use of the internet, we could not only request www.google, but we could go Firefox, we could go Apple, we could go whichever direction we want at the same time across that live source.
Facebook, right? Yeah,
Live
perfect.
source meaning whichever source is active, whichever source is up, just like you had explained your underwater line, transatlantic line. If the line is active, we could use it. And because all of these servers are active or they have a line that's running, that's why those systems are able to show those web pages so fast. Like you had mentioned, like a couple seconds, those things just pop up in a couple seconds because they're up. They're not down or anything like that, correct? So when I
Perfect.
dial up from 1, I'm going right to the switch to 21 to 13 to 14 to 15 because it's the fastest route. It's going right to that server. And if per se the message is coming back and 15 isn't down for whatever reason, I'll be just going right back from 15 to 14 to 13, back to 21, back to my switchboard, and right back to my computer. And if I need to share any information between 1, 2, and 3 at my location at BOA, there shouldn't be a problem.
Right. Right. So now you guys know a home user can communicate to the Google server and request a web page, but also we have many businesses on the internet. And every business or most of these businesses have branches at different locations. So if they connect every branch to the internet, like this branch here connects to Calitel, this other branch connects to AT&T, this branch connects to British Telecom. So then all these branches can communicate through the internet, and also an employee at any branch can also communicate to Google.
Quality.
So not all internet traffic is generated from home users. It could also be like a business traffic, a company.
Mm-hmm. Those people that could pay for high-speed servers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So speaking of the ISPs, what kind of devices are they made of? Like if we look at Sudatel or Etisalat or British Telecom, what's the name of the equipment at these companies? or the devices? We call them routers, right?
Mhm.
Remember, 1, 2, and 3, these are routers. 4, 5, 6 routers. 7, 8, 9 routers, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about, so all these companies, all these ISPs, they have routers. Let's talk about businesses. Bank of America, let's look at the branches. Do they have routers or not?
Do the
Let's
yeah
look at,
they do.
they do. How many, according to the diagram, how many routers are there at Bank of America?
3.
3. Can you tell me the numbers?
Yeah, 21, 22, and 23.
Exactly. So businesses like Bank of America, they'll also have routers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Starbucks, let's say they have 7,000 locations across the country. If they had only one router at each location, how many routers total?
You said how many locations do they have?
Well,
Let's
7,000 is equal to every number
let's
of businesses that we have. If we have one router for every business, it's equal to the number of businesses that we
right,
have. So we have one
right,
router for every business. There's 7,000 businesses. That's a fictitious number. So we have 7,000 routers that we're working with right now. Correct?
right, right. Like Starbucks, let's say they have 7,000 branches or locations. If they have one router each branch, Kingsley, how
Mm-hmm.
many routers total does Starbucks have?
7,000.
7,000. So they need the network engineering team, right?
Mm-hmm.
7-Eleven. I met with 7-Eleven in the past, so I'm familiar with their network. They have about 7,000 locations or something, if I remember correctly. It was a while, long time ago. So they have, I think, 7,000 locations. So if there's one router, they have 7,000 routers. If they have 2 routers each location, that's 14,000 routers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And most of these routers are Cisco routers. And that's exactly what I was saying earlier. For that reason, if you have the Cisco certification shows employers that you can work on these routers. The Cisco certification is not just theoretical. Once you complete the CCNA, even before getting a job, you can work on these routers. You can configure these routers and set up these routers. So you have the Cisco certification. It's a strong message to all employers that, hey, you can work on these routers. And for that reason, there's an abundance of opportunities because you can work at an internet company, an ISP, like Sudatel, Etisalat, British Telecom, AT&T, you can work at any of these large companies, Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile, Cogent, whatever, right? You can work at any of these large companies if you're lucky. And if you're not very successful, the least, you can work at a 7-Eleven and a Starbucks, it's any business really, because they all have routers. You guys get the point?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have the Cisco certification, there's a job for you anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere has it. Even homes these days, they do have routers too, right?
Yeah.
But the home routers
Yeah,
are
I
simple. They
mean,
don't really.
yeah, I get the basic theory. I definitely comprehend. I've been there. What you're talking about. I've worked for Comcast and some of the smaller companies well in the past. As I was talking the other day in class, but you know, when we're working with not just the equipment or the dial-up equipment, you know, just setting up the actual routers in home or running phishing lines in the house, you know, thinking about more just like how is the, you know, the networking process just actually with the internal sources of the equipment.
Right.
Like per se, I'm working with the routers and I'm traveling with 10 routers in my truck, and I get a manifest at the office, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna go hook up house at this city. I'm gonna go establish a connection at this city. I'm gonna go establish at this city. And, I'm going from building to building, sometimes a couple residentials to commercial to wherever. And then, most of the time in the day, I'm trying to, dial up and create a connectivity source and run a cable, that's a live source, maybe not might not be an optic or whatever, but just making sure that the router has a connectivity or an established, LED system, and is communicating with whichever source. But a lot of times I'm thinking, with dealing more with the telecommunications, I'm more trying to get more towards the mainframe components, server components, things that could help me network as far goes as the language that the servers are using, the mathematical side, the binaries and things like that too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. So I think we want to keep it light day one.
Mhm.
So I think that's probably a decent amount of information. So we don't want to overload you guys with a lot of information.
Yeah, we
But I
already
think
reached 10 o'clock, man. I'm well far from overload, but I love the first portion of the class. Hopefully we get more in the future coming. I definitely
perfect,
like to hear more voices and faces. Yeah.
perfect, perfect. So the summary tonight is, what is the internet? It is a network of networks, right?
Mhm.
So the internet is made of Sudatel, Etisalat, British Telecom, AT&T, Calitel, and much more. And all these networks come together, they form the internet. And what is a network made of? What is AT&T made of? Made of routers, right?
Mhm.
And when you open a browser at home, you type google.com, what's the name of the message that's created?
You got your get message.
Get message, right? And this get message is forwarded from a router to another until it makes it to the destination, to the Google server. How do routers forward it in the right direction? Because the get message has an address. The get message itself will say destination address is google.com. So every router will read the destination address, it will send it to the next and the next and the next until it's delivered to the server. The Google server receives the get message. It knows that someone is requesting the web page, so the server will send the web page. Same thing, it's going to give it an address. The server is going to say this web page is going to the home. That way, every router can send it to the next router, because each of these routers are able to read the destination address and forward the message accordingly, right?
Mhm.
Good. Until the message is delivered to the home. And we also spoke of businesses. Businesses can also connect to the internet. That way, an employee at one branch can connect to an employee at another branch. But at the same time, that employee at the first branch can communicate to the Google server. And I guess that's it for today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm saying
We'll
thank you.
see you
Thank you for
guys.
showing me all that.
Great work. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Have a good
I
one.
have a question for you.
You too.
Yeah, thanks for the class.
Bye.
So I was wondering, yeah, as far as the content itself, are you teaching out of a specific, uh, like, do we need to get a book or something that allows to follow the chapters and things like that? Is there any kind of a actual course, syllabus, if you will,
See,
or something like that?
the thing is, the CCNA, most people teach it in like 2 months, right?
Mm.
I teach it in like 5 months, and there's a reason for that. My product isn't the CCNA. Yes, I'll help you get the CCNA. Yes, you will have the CCNA, and you'll get a very high score in the CCNA. I've been doing this kind of work for 13 years. The lowest score in my class is 95% on the Cisco exam. So you'll get the CCNA, but that's not the end goal. the end goal is to help you get a job. So I focus on making you guys very knowledgeable. That way, when you get in front of an interviewer and they're
Yeah.
asking you questions, you have the understanding, you're able to answer. A lot of people have CCNA certifications, but they can't pass interviews.
14 years after this
So-
class is done.
So I can teach the CCNA in a month. I can even teach it in 2 weeks, and you guys will get the certification if that's what you want. But normally, what I do is, because my goal is to kind of make you guys experts, make you guys really knowledgeable. So we study the CCNA very carefully, all the details over a period of 4 or 5 months. That way, you'll pass the exam, but also you'll become very knowledgeable. You can answer interview questions and get a job. And for that reason, I have a couple of CCNA books, like different authors.
Oh, okay.
And I have like 4 or 5 probably. Like, I don't even know how many. But everything that's on these books, I will mention in class. So if you attend every class, you probably won't need to read a book.
Okay, I see. Well, cool, man. Appreciate it.
All right. See you guys tomorrow.
All right. Hey, another question. Are you gonna try to post all of these for the YouTube?
I will post the first couple, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We'll talk.
See you guys,
Yeah.
see you guys tomorrow.
I got a question, Ahab.
Sure.
Yeah. 5 days a week is a little bit too much for me. Yeah, 5 days a week for an hour and a half is a lot. Is it possible, if it's okay with everybody else, maybe to bring it down, bring the days down to 2 or 3 days or something like that?
I don't have a problem with that, but I think the classes will be a little bit longer. I'm for trying to squeeze everything into a couple of days, but I'd have to be able to breeze through this information a lot quicker. Because if we're going, it'll kind of be a little bit lagging. But we are just talking Monday through Friday, right?
You know, we can talk about that offline, like in the
Yeah.
morning or something. Yeah, we can discuss it, Muhammad. I'm flexible.
Okay. Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
Okay, thank you.
See you
Again,
tomorrow.
have a good one.
You too. Bye bye.